Good afternoon, everyone. It has been a while since I have been able to get out here and do some shooting with my new Barnett Demun AccuStrike Pro. So I brought it out today. We're going to shoot at the Barnett hyperspeed target. What I found is I was using a lesser target, one that I had before, and I figured it would stop the bolts, but it in fact did not. I actually have lost two of the bolts for these deep within that target, and I will have to cut them out if I want them back. So that's a little bit of a downside, but with this hyperspeed target, we should be all right, I would think. So I brought out not only the AccuStrike Pro, but just the AccuStrike, which is not quite as powerful. It doesn't have the red dot sight, but just to kind of give a comparison, a little shot of both of them shooting so that you can kind of see what the differences are. I know I went over that a little bit in my previous video where I talked about what they look like and put them side by side, but here we're going to shoot them and kind of give you our thoughts on it, as they're firing down the range. So let's get into this. So just ignore the ugly propane tank in the background. Just is what it is out here in the country. But here I have just the regular AccuStrike. As I discussed before, this is connected. You only have single stage brake action on this, right? So to cock it, you push the button, pull it back. And it's doable, but again, it's not exactly the easiest, right? So let's take a look at the AccuStrike Pro with its two-stage cocking system and see if it's a little easier on the arms. Okay, so here it is. I've mentioned this before. I love that this is not connected. I do not like bows that have that. I just don't. Big or small, not a fan. And I apologize for the wind. It's always windy here, guys. But again, you got your button. So you're gonna have halfway right there, and then you're gonna do it again. That is significantly easier, much easier than the standard AccuStrike. It's just a lot less work to pull that back, but you actually have heavier limbs. You're having a heavier shot with this, so that's pretty cool. I do like that quite a bit. Now, another thing to note on this is you don't have the annoying sight on the front because you have a red dot sight, right? With the other one, you have to feed the bolt through that sight in order to get it into place. With this one, you don't have to do that, right? Which is very nice, because I do find that kind of annoying. So your red dot sight, there's a button right on the front of it that you push and hold. And you should be all set. Safety's right here. So I'm shooting at about 12 yards. Now, I have found with most of these Demons, you can shoot further. You can shoot like 20 plus yards if you want to. What you're gonna find is that your grouping becomes more spread out. So the best accuracy is really in that 12 to 15 yard range. At least that's what I'm experiencing. So if you were truly gonna go after some varmints with this, you're probably gonna have to be able to get pretty close. Now there are some ground squirrels or chipmunks that might just give you that opportunity, and I think that would be pretty fun. But let me take a shot with the regular AccuStrike just so you can see the comparison. All right, so here's your regular AccuStrike. Now this is what I'm talking about here. If you try to go right here, it doesn't want to fit, right? So you have to kind of feed it through there first, which can be kind of a pain. And then you just have standard gun sights, basically. You don't have the same easiness of the red dot sight that you do with this one. I mean, you don't have that with this one, right? So this one, you have two dots up here, and then you have two here, and you're kind of putting the dot up here even with your dots there. if that made any sense at all. So I don't know if you could tell. I could actually tell a difference in speed there. So hopefully you could kind of see the comparison there. You can tell a difference when you're shooting. One is just shooting a little bit harder. And of course, that's the AccuStrike Pro. Now, what I'm gonna do is I am going to shoot 6 bolts and kind of see what my grouping is here from, I'm at about 12 yards, as I stated earlier, and just kind of see what kind of grouping I'm getting. Now, something to keep in mind is obviously these aren't necessarily your top of the line bolts, right? They're plastic. Excuse me a second. Always when you're filming, right? Always. So obviously these aren't going to be like your top of the line bolt. They're plastic, and you can see here your standard bolt, if I can get it to focus, it has these threads on the end. And what Barnett has done is they have, you can buy them separately, like a field tip to go on here. So here they are. Now you may notice there are a few missing. I couldn't wait, so I put a couple on and shot them into that other target, and those are the bolts that are buried inside of that target. Now, I don't think I noticed a huge difference in flight. So if you just want to use the standard screw tip without putting one of these on, I do think you'd probably be okay. Obviously, again, this isn't like you're going out and trying to hunt a deer, right? This is to have fun in your backyard shooting around. So these screw right onto the bolt. Let me go ahead and do that for you guys here. See, there it is. It just screws right on there. So then you have a field tip, right? So what I'll do is I'll shoot around without that on there, and then I'll shoot around with them on there and just kind of see, well, a group of rounds. I'll shoot 6 and then 6 and see if there seems to be any accuracy difference at all. And from previous tests, I have not really seen one, but we'll see if today is any different. So as I mentioned, I am going to shoot 6 of these. What I love about this is because these are so small, I just put them right in my pocket. Whoop, right in my pocket like that. And then I can just reach in there. You don't even need a quiver, right? They're small enough, you just right out of your pocket. So let's see what kind of grouping I get with the AccuStrike Pro. Definitely easier to cock. Definitely easier to load. And here we go. One of the complaints I do have is that I don't find that the red dot is particularly bright. Maybe that's just the battery that mine came with, but I would like to see that be a little bit brighter. As I've stated in previous videos, I'm not a huge fan of a red dot sight normally. I find them easy to actually just not aim right. Maybe I just stink at it. Something with my eye relief, I don't know. But for something like this, it's pretty fun. Okay, let's go ahead and see how it looks on the target. So something to keep in mind that I've noticed with these is sometimes the inaccuracy actually comes from the bolts. So if you're finding a few bolts kind of shooting wonky, just kind of take those out and know that that's not a great bolt for accuracy. But again, if you're shooting at a target just for fun, obviously we're not hunting with these, You know, one bolt going a little off isn't that big of a deal. So let's check out my shots here. And this is exactly what I mean. So this is all, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that, right? And then, what's that guy doing, right? So if I really cared, I'd probably mark that and say, hey, this one shoots a little crazy. But you could see that is some pretty decent accuracy at 12 yards. So like I said, 12 to 15, you get some pretty good accuracy with these. And some of these sunk pretty good in there. Like there's a lot of power there. This is a 470 feet per second target. So they're moving. So now let's put those field points to the test. We'll stick those on there and see if there's any difference really, or if the accuracy is about the same. One thing to note about these field tips or practice tips or whatever you want to call them is they're sharp. Very sharp. So just be careful of that when you're using these. Again, sticking them in your pocket like I do. They might poke a hole in your pocket. Let's go ahead and give those a shot. One thing you guys might notice me doing a lot is I move this around a lot. So something to think about if you are going to get one of these is you want to make sure you're not cocking it with this handle. It is not made for that, right? So you'll see me, I'll shoot, I'll put that in, then I'll cock, right? And then you'll see me flip it back down. Then I usually stick my hand under there to load the arrow. You'll figure out what works best for you. I have found that the best thing for me is to flip that down up before I cock it. Now, these are the field tips. Let's check the accuracy. 6 shots. So let's go ahead and take a look at how those did with the field tip instead of just the bolt as it comes. As you can see, got a couple here. These 3 are pretty close, but then I got these 3 that are a little farther out. Now, is that a super definitive test? No. Obviously, there's lots of other factors. Like I said, there's the wind. There's me. I'm not great with a red dot sight. But I'm not convinced that you need those. I do like how it makes the arrows look. It makes them look more complete. But I mean, if you're trying to do this as budget friendly as possible, I'm not sure you need those. That being said, they are cool. But again, if you want to try to get away with doing it as cheap as you can, I don't think you need to feel like you need those field tips. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shoot 6 of these without them and see how that looks again, just as kind of a one more time. One of them has disappeared. I think my target ate it. Let's show you the results. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is in there somewhere. I kind of am gonna guess, yep, 6 is right there, guys. I can feel it in there. I don't know if I can get it out at the moment, but so 6 is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would have to say I personally am a better shot without the field tips on there. So as cool as they are, I don't think they're needed. Barnett might not love me saying that because obviously it's a product they want to sell. And like I said, it makes your arrow look a lot nicer. I don't know if it helps the accuracy at all. I'm not seeing that, and I want to be honest on here. You know, I'm not seeing it right now. So if I see any changes in that as I shoot this more, I'll let you guys know. But for now, I'm not seeing a huge difference. Now, I also have these. vermin blunt force tips. So, in general, if you have one of these bows, it's plinking in the backyard, right? We have chipmunks, we have ground squirrels that like to live in our shed, that like to get in our chicken food, and let's be honest, we don't want them there, right? It'd be kind of fun to try to get one of them with this little crossbow. So I think that these are pretty cool. I have not opened it yet. I am in the process right now. But let's check these out and see what we think. And then we'll shoot a couple at the target just to see how they fly. Because if they fly absolutely crazy, well, that's not going to be very good, is it? Let me get these open and then we'll continue. All right, so these are just plastic. So keep that in mind. You do get a lot of them, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 12 there. Probably gonna take you a while to go through 12 of these, but I'm just gonna use a couple right now because I do kind of want to save them for if I have a chipmunk or a squirrel that is living under my shed, which they are. Pop out, give it a shot, right? So they're gonna do the same thing as the other tips. They're just gonna screw right on here. Now, let's be honest, that screwed on a lot harder. So let me try one more just to see if it was me or if these don't screw on quite as nice being plastic. So definitely, guys, definitely the plastic doesn't screw on quite as well. You can see I'm having to put quite a bit of force on that. But that is what it's gonna look like. So let's go ahead and shoot a few of these. I don't think they're gonna stick in the target by any means, but kind of give you guys an idea. Maybe I can slow it down and we can see how these do. All right, so one of them actually stuck in, which I'll probably regret later, but not too far off. I would say accuracy-wise, we're looking at about the same. Again, hard to tell. My other one bounced off and landed on the ground. I think time will tell how well those hold up, just being hard plastic. I imagine if you miss and hit a rock or, you know, the cement or something, they're not gonna hold up great. But you get 12 of them, right? So go have fun, try to get a chipmunk. But that was just another thing they sent me, and yeah, I'm probably gonna try to get something with those because I have way too many chipmunks under my shed. So, I mean, it's for varmints, right? All right, so the question is, right, is this worth it? Because it costs a little bit more. I'll put the price up on the screen here. But is there benefits to this versus the standard AccuStrike, right? Because the tri-strike, you get 3 shots. That's not happening with this, right? So what are the benefits of spending a little bit more money? One, you get the red dot sight. Now, being not a red dot fan like I am, I actually have a lot of fun with this because it's just for plinking, right? It's just for having fun. It's easy, it's quick. So that's really nice. Also easy for other people to use. Now I say red dot, it can be green as well. Secondly, I know this probably isn't big for a lot of people, but not having this connected, huge for me. I like that I can just stick my hand right in there. I don't like having to work around things. I just don't. So that's a plus for me as well. Also, better camo design. I like a nice black crossbow, but let's be honest, this thing looks sweet. I didn't even show you guys this. It comes with the sling. That's all you got. So kind of gimmicky in my opinion. Might be able to give you a little more stabilization, but I use it to hang my bow up. So I do like that it comes with that. But I think the big thing is, one, you get a harder shot, but two, you get the 2-stage, right? And as you get more used to it, you just get better at it. I think that that's probably the biggest plus. But you get a very nice bow. It is shooting faster, stronger than your standard AccuStrike. You get open, which is nicer for getting your hands in and out. You get an easier sight, and you get easier cocking. Honestly, for a little bit more money, I think you get a lot more, and you also get a cooler looking bow. Like if you put these two side by side, similar, but let's be honest. Most of us lean towards this one, right? It just looks really cool. Overall, I think it's well worth it, guys. If you have kids, if you have family get-togethers and you want to shoot balloons, if you just want to have fun, you know, like me, you just get out of work, you want to go shoot, but you don't want to waste money on ammo. Grab yourself your Demun, go out in the backyard and shoot. Quick reloads, right? Easy to put the bolts right in your pocket. I think there's a quiver if you want a quiver. But it's just easy, simple, quick, and fun. And I think that's what you have to realize with either one of these, right? Easy, simple, quick, and fun. Go out. It gets you outside shooting. Just have a good time. You know, if you do live in a city and you got a little space and a good target, you don't have to worry about the, you know, you can't shoot a gun. Shoot one of these, right? They're just fun, simple, easy. They're not hard to put together. I think some people think that they're hard. Is it harder than a 1-bolt install? Yes, but it's not hard. It really isn't. Follow their instructional video and you'll have no problems at all. Really, really cool, guys. Go check it out. I will try to put a link in the description below if you want this one, or this one, or the Tri-Strike, which I don't have. No, go check out Barnett. They've got some really cool stuff, and they seem to put a little more thought into their stuff than some other companies. Now, that's not to bash other companies, but if you look at other companies' pistol crossbows, the mechanisms are usually on the outside for cocking. You see the arms on the outside. This is all internal, right? It just looks cleaner, nicer. It's just a really nice bow. Go check it out. Thanks for coming, guys. We'll catch you on the next one, where I don't know what I'm going to be doing on the next one. Guess I got to figure that out still. We'll catch you later.